Trucks, hundreds and thousands of them. Whenever one travels the nation's highways, they are ever present. The American trucking industry is the most advanced and dependable transportation system in the world. Every year, over 2 billion tons of freight are moved over our vast network of interstate highways and secondary roads. In fact, trucks are the very lifeline of commerce for American business. They play an integral role in maintaining our standard of living and lifestyle. Many Americans fail to make the connection between the large trucks on our highways and the fully stocked shelves in our supermarkets and department stores. Nearly everything you wear, eat, use, or buy was at some time transported by a truck. But not just by truck. They were also delivered by professional truck drivers, men and women who have chosen a profession that rarely gets the attention it deserves. Most professional drivers are safety conscious and courteous. They have undergone weeks of intensive screening and training before they were even allowed out on the road. Every day on the job, drivers are observed and evaluated by Department of Transportation agencies, weigh stations, police agencies, other drivers, the safety departments of the companies they work for, and they must even submit to periodic drug testing. All truck drivers must hold a commercial driver's license, CDL, which meets or exceeds stringent testing requirements specified by the federal government. Good drivers and reputable trucking companies may not always enjoy the burden that these rules and regulations place on them, but they understand better than anyone else how important it is to eliminate unqualified drivers and keep unsafe equipment off the road. When you consider that trucks in America drive over 144 billion miles every year, the industry has a remarkably good safety record. In fact, in the past decade, the fatal accident rate involving trucks dropped 40%, while the number of miles driven rose 36%. However, despite increasing efforts to make our roads safer, our highways will never be 100% accident-free. When you have millions of vehicles driving through all kinds of weather, on all kinds of roads, night and day, there will be some accidents. The key is to keep those accidents to a minimum. The purpose of this presentation is to help us all become more aware of the limitations of big trucks and how to safely share the road with them. In a fatal accident involving a car and truck, the odds are 32 to 1 that it is someone in the car who will be killed. Safe driving doesn't just mean following all traffic laws. It also involves staying out of dangerous situations and being courteous to other drivers. Let's take a few minutes and look at some of the things automobile drivers can do to avoid having an accident with a truck, no matter who is at fault. The most important limitation facing truck drivers is visibility. Unlike a typical passenger car that has nearly 360 degrees of view out the windows, a truck driver has only a fraction of that. Because of their size and shape, trucks have 3 major blind spots that can prevent the driver from seeing other vehicles: behind the truck, on the left side of the truck, and the most dangerous, on the right side of the truck. These shaded regions represent areas around the truck that the driver, even when using his mirrors, cannot normally see. Other vehicles traveling in these blind spots are almost invisible to the truck driver. An important thing to remember is that if you can't see the driver through the truck's window or in the mirror, he can't see you either, and he may not even know you are next to the truck. Traveling in these blind spots is a dangerous habit, especially for small cars and motorcycles. A driver can watch a car as it moves into a blind spot and see when it comes out. However, a dangerous situation arises when a car remains in the blind spot for more than a few minutes. The driver may lose track of its movements and forget that the car is there because he can't see it. If something happens that forces the truck to change lanes, the car could be accidentally hit simply because the truck driver didn't know it was there. Aside from the driver not being able to see you behind the trailer, There are other reasons for not following a truck too closely. If you don't allow more following distance behind a truck than you would a car, your view of the road ahead is hindered even more. You can't see signs, changing traffic conditions, and most importantly, road hazards such as debris from a tire blowout or rocks flipped up by the truck's tires. How close is too close? This is a hard question to answer because it varies according to weather conditions, traffic volume, and other factors which vary from mile to mile. However, a good rule of thumb to use under normal driving conditions is the 2-second rule. But if you really want to make sure you're safe, always allow 4 to 6 seconds between you and the vehicle ahead. Staying out of a truck's blind spots and not following too closely are two things all drivers can do to make our highways safer. Often, big trucks will be moving at a slower speed than other traffic because of safety reasons or a lower speed limit for big rigs. When it becomes necessary to pass a large truck, you should remember the following safety tips. Begin by signaling your intention to pass well in advance. And then move to the left lane as soon as possible. Always avoid passing on the right. Waiting until the last minute to change lanes means that you will be following too closely, and you will be moving from one blind spot to another so quickly that the driver may not even know you're there. Another problem with getting too close is air turbulence. As you move from directly behind the truck to the other lane, the difference in wind resistance can sometimes cause buffeting, resulting in loss of control. A similar problem happens when you have a strong crosswind. As you pass the cab of the truck, be prepared for a gust of air when the truck is no longer there to act as a windbreak. This can be a particularly dangerous problem on slippery roads or when pulling a trailer. Next, wait until you can see both of the truck's headlights in your rearview mirror before activating your signal and moving back into the truck's lane. Once you've passed the truck, maintain your speed. Don't pass and then slow down. Remember to leave the driver plenty of space between the truck and your car. Never cut a truck off. Big trucks need more following distance because they take more time to slow down. This 6-second safety cushion is very important to the truck's safety. Cutting into it creates a dangerous situation for both drivers. From 60 miles per hour, a fully loaded truck with good road conditions takes over 340 feet to stop. That's more than the length of a football field. Going off the road or hitting the car ahead may be the driver's only choices if the automobile driver has to brake suddenly after cutting him off. When passing a truck on a 2-lane road, start farther back so the truck doesn't block your view of oncoming traffic. And because of the longer length of trucks, you need to allow more time to pass. Occasionally, a big truck may need to pass you. When this happens, simply maintain a constant speed and stay to the right in your lane. You might even want to slow down a little to help the truck pass safely. If everyone on the highway would signal their intentions, travel at a safe speed, and allow other drivers to maintain an adequate safety cushion in front of their vehicles, nearly all accidents could be avoided. You may have noticed that some highways with extremely steep grades have runaway truck ramps. These ramps are filled with deep gravel to give runaway trucks a safe place to stop. Runaway trucks, due to loss of brakes or other mechanical failure, rarely happen. But if you do see a vehicle which appears to be out of control, get out of his way. Runaway truck ramps are not for any other use, even emergencies. Do not stop in them for any reason. If you do have a flat tire or other emergency which requires stopping, stop before the ramp or after you've passed it. Being alert to runaway trucks, clearing the way if you see one, and staying out of runaway truck ramps can help avert a disaster. Proper use of your vehicle's headlights can also help make our roads safer. Headlights are not just meant to light the road in front of you, they're also designed to make you more visible to the other drivers. And as we've seen, visibility for a truck driver is always a problem. Using your headlights whenever visibility is poor will help make your vehicle more easily seen, not only by truck drivers, but other motorists as well. Bright lights are good when you need them, but having them on when you are around other vehicles is dangerous and illegal. Bright lights shining into the eyes of oncoming drivers or into the mirrors of vehicles ahead of you can virtually blind a driver for several seconds. Turning on your headlights whenever visibility is poor and keeping your bright lights switched off whenever you're around other vehicles is not only the safe and legal thing to do, it also shows courtesy to other drivers. So far in this presentation, we've mainly concerned ourselves with techniques for safe highway driving. But being aware of big trucks and their limitations on city streets is equally important. If you think that traffic is congested and that it takes forever to get from one point to another, imagine how a truck driver feels when he must maneuver a 60-foot truck down unfamiliar busy streets almost every day. Actually, it's not as bad as it sounds. These drivers are trained professionals, and they view it as just a part of their job. But their work is made a lot easier and safer when they receive cooperation and understanding from other motorists. Trucks have one additional blind spot, which is a particular problem in the city, directly in front of the tractor, which pedestrians and bicyclists need to avoid. Remember, if you can't see the driver, he can't see you. Also, keep in mind that trucks can't stop as quickly as cars. Never step into the street unless you're sure you have plenty of time to cross. Trucks also require more room in which to turn. That's why they stay to the left of the lane when preparing to make a right-hand turn. If they didn't, the trailer wheels would go over the curb and run over anything in their path. Pulling to the left may be the only safe way for a truck to make a right-hand turn. The space it leaves between the curb and the trailer is necessary and is not an invitation for cars, motorcycles, or bikes to try and sneak in around it. No matter how a truck is positioned at an intersection, if his turn signal is flashing, it's best to assume he's going to make that turn. Squeezing in on the right side will put you right in the middle of the driver's worst blind spot. Almost 200,000 preventable accidents like this one happen every year. Left-hand turn accidents are not as common. The drivers need to position their vehicles properly at an intersection to be safe. At many intersections, a white stop line is painted on the pavement. If you see one, stop behind it, not on it or past it. These lines have been measured to allow other vehicles making left turns enough room to safely negotiate the intersection. If you don't see a stop line, stop a few feet before your front bumper enters the intersection. Pulling too far out will put you in danger of getting hit by long vehicles making left turns. Occasionally, you may encounter a truck which is backing into a loading dock to make a pickup or delivery. The best thing to do in this situation is to allow the driver plenty of room to maneuver and be patient. You can be sure that the driver doesn't enjoy blocking traffic any more than you enjoy waiting. Backing into a dock requires the driver's complete attention, and he'll do it just as fast as he safely can. It only makes matters worse if cars honk their horns or try to sneak around the truck. Getting in the driver's blind spots when he's attempting to back in puts you at risk of being hit by the truck. Sharing the road with trucks in the city is really as simple as showing other drivers a little courtesy and keeping your vehicle properly positioned.